Welcome to I'd Lecture Online. There are some useful applications for the discriminant, and here's one of them. I'll show you several examples, but let's start with this first example. So here we have the equation y equals x squared plus 4x plus 1. We recognize that as a quadratic equation, and what we're trying to do here is find all the possible values for y. There may be restrictions as to the value of y, and we can use the discriminant to figure that out. So let's do that. So first we're going to move the y over to the other side and write it as 0 is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 1 minus y. And then we're going to find a, b, and c from the quadratic equation. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to 1 minus y. And we're going to plug that into the quadratic formula, or specifically to plug that into the equation for the discriminant. We know that the discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So let's see what that's equal to. So in this case, we can see that b squared, that becomes 4 squared minus 4 times a, that would be 1, times c, which is 1 minus y. Okay, simplifying that, we get this equal to 16 minus 4 times 1, and minus 4 times a minus y, which would be plus 4y. And so we can say that 16 minus 4, that's equal to 12 plus 4y. And now notice that this is the discriminant, and so this would be the limitations. Notice that in order to solve that equation, the discriminant must be greater than 0 for any real solutions. So we need d to be greater than or equal to 0 for a real solution, which means that 12 plus 4y must be greater than 0, otherwise there's no real solution to that equation. So in other words, 12 plus 4y must be greater than 0, or 4y must be greater than negative 12, or divide both sides by 4, y must be greater than or equal to, because it can be equal to 0, and so y must be greater than or equal to a negative 3. So there's the restrictions. All values for y, negative 3 or greater, are valid for this equation. Now let's see why that is so when we graph this equation. Well, first of all, let's see here, we'll plug in some values. When y is equal to 0, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. When x is equal to 1, y is equal to 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be right here. When x is equal to negative 1, let's see here, negative 1, that would be minus 2. So when x equals negative 1, y is equal to negative 2. That would be over here. And when x is equal to negative 2, then y would be equal to negative 3. Negative 3. And then it looks like it's going to reverse. When x is negative 3, y is negative 2. When x is negative 4, y is equal to 0. So notice that when we graph that equation, it looks like this, which means that the lowest value that y can have is y equals to negative 3, which is exactly what we found out by solving for the determinant. In other words, by moving the y over to the right side, then solving for the determinant, realizing to get a real solution, the determinant must be greater than or equal to 0. When we apply that to our determinant, we then determined, or I should say discriminant. I keep calling it determinant, I should call it discriminant. So when y is greater than or equal to negative 3, that's the restriction that we got from solving for our discriminant. And you can see that clearly there's no such way as getting a value for y less than negative 3 for this particular equation. And that is how it's done.